I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It started like another late-night jab. The kind people have come to expect from Jimmy Kimmel. Bright lights, studio applause, a crowd ready for jokes. Then Kimmel looked into the camera and brought up Donald Trump again. And this time, the reaction came so fast, so personal, and so loud that the whole thing stopped feeling like comedy for a second and started feeling like a direct fight for control of the story. That was the real shift. Because Trump did not respond like a man ignoring some comedian on television. He responded like someone who had been watching closely, stewing, waiting, and finally snapped. Donald Trump didn't hold back. Old clips resurfaced instantly, including the now infamous Ivanka line. If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. The moment landed hard, and Jimmy Kimmel fired right back with a brutal line. What stage of dementia is not recognizing the daughter you are physically attracted to? The crowd erupted, but the tone had already shifted. This wasn't just a joke anymore, it was confrontation. Trump leaned in further, blasting out familiar complaints that Kimmel had no talent, terrible ratings, and should be thrown off the air. Jimmy Kimmel had very bad ratings. They should have fired him a long time ago. It was meant to sound like dominance. It landed like panic, and Kimmel saw it immediate. Instead of backing down, Jimmy Kimmel flipped the attack. He said if anyone should be trusted on bad ratings, it might be Donald Trump, the man whose approval numbers were collapsing in public. The crowd exploded. But Kimmel wasn't just landing a joke, he was changing the frame. Trump wanted the story to be about a comedian chasing relevance. Kimmel turned it into something else, a powerful man who couldn't stop rage-watching the very people he claimed didn't matter. And that's when the moment got bigger. Kimmel widened the lens, bringing up pressure on networks, threats toward media companies, and the billionaire power struggles happening behind the scenes. This wasn't just a celebrity feud anymore, it was about control. Who shapes reality on television, who gets silenced, who gets boosted, and why someone with enormous power still seems obsessed with every camera that doesn't flatter him. The audience was still laughing, but it felt tighter now, more aware. This wasn't just a monologue anymore, it was exposure. Then Jimmy Kimmel leaned into the part that made the room go quiet. He joked that Donald Trump hadn't been able to get an insurrection for years, twisting it into a line that was funny on the surface but sharp underneath. He contrasted what a normal president might do, de-escalate, calm things down, lower the temperature, with what Trump does instead, turn everything up. He said Trump raises the temperature on everything, constantly pushing conflict higher while claiming protesters are paid without ever saying by who. Then Kimmel shifted again, asking the questions that don't go away. The files, the old associations, the issues Trump insists don't matter, until someone mentions them on air. He didn't shout accusations. He did something more effective. He asked why a man who claims total innocence reacts like visibility itself is the threat. Why every demand for transparency turns into a performance about enemies, loyalty, and unfairness. The audience got quieter because once those questions are asked calmly, they become much harder to laugh away. Donald Trump responded the way he always does, by flooding the zone. Claim victory, declare everything settled, act like the latest statement, release, or announcement closes the case through sheer confidence. But Jimmy Kimmel caught the contradiction immediately. The more Trump insisted the story was finished, the more he dragged attention back to it. Like someone slamming a door while shouting at everyone to stop wondering what's behind it. Kimmel let that sit, then turned it into the joke. And that's when things got surreal. A White House-style response followed. Official language, calm delivery, absurd claims. Assurances about unlimited strength, endless capacity, total control. The kind of statements that sound serious until you actually hear them. Kimmel replayed it and let the absurdity speak. Because once something that feels like a late-night joke starts getting explained from a podium, the line between comedy and reality begins to blur. The crowd wasn't just laughing now, they were processing it. By now, Jimmy Kimmel had mapped the pattern clearly. Donald Trump attacks, threatens, claims he's winning. Then someone else has to explain what he really meant. Then he attacks again, because the explanation was never the point. The point was always the show of force. Once the audience could see that cycle, it stopped looking powerful. It started looking desperate, and that's why the threat to get Kimmel fired landed so badly. It revealed too much. That the man who demands power still can't tolerate mockery, that he doesn't just want criticism answered, he wants critics removed. But Kimmel didn't respond with anger. He responded with calm ridicule, the one thing that makes Trump look smaller. By the end, Kimmel brought it all to a quiet final line, flipping Trump's own tone back at him. The crowd roared, not just at the joke, but at the realization. This wasn't just entertainment anymore, it was a window into how power reacts when it's challenged. Because laughter does something outrage can't. It shrinks things. It makes what is loud look small. And in that moment, Kimmel didn't just win the joke. He exposed the truth Trump tries hardest to hide. That control, once questioned out loud, is much harder to get back than it is to pretend you never lost it.